right, this is Reunion Radio right here on 97.9 The Beat. Big, that boy TD. It's Big, the first lady of Reunion Radio, Shawnee Scott, Slick Nick.
Yes, sir.
All right, we all got the news this week about the unfortunate shooting at Wilma Hutchins. The alleged shooter decided to turn himself in, reaching out to the urban specialist to help with that, and the urban specialist is here. But we do want to take some time to send love, light, and prayers to all of the victims and families that were affected. Anton is here, Corey is here, urban specialist. Anton, Bruce Wayne, like Nick said.
Yeah.
Take me through that scenario. And were you aware of what happened?
I was vaguely aware that it was a shooting that happened at Wilma Hutchins, but I didn't know the magnitude of it. I just heard some people in my office talking about it. And at Urban Special, we have a helpline for people who've been affected by violence, like people who've been shot,
right,
et cetera, et cetera. And so at 6:00 p.m., one of our dispatchers called me and said, "Hey, I got a parent online, it's an aunt on the line, and she's high stress and she's panicky, but she is saying that her nephew is the alleged shooting in the Wilma Hutchins school shooting. I need you to handle it." And so I end up talking to the aunt, which in turn put me in conversation with the father and the young man, and convinced him to come down to my office. Came down to my office and then ultimately turned them into the authorities.
Stay right here. We're going to talk more about this. Anton is here. Corey is here, the urban specialist. This is
Reunion Radio, baby.
All right, this is Reunion Radio, a special edition. Slick Nick, Shawnee Scott. Look, this music is cool, but the community is what we do. That's why we on this radio. And we heard about the unfortunate shooting at Wilma Hutchins. Prayers, love, and light to all the victims and families involved. The latest on that story is at thebeatdfw.com. But the urban specialist, Anton and Corey, actually turned in the suspect, the alleged shooter, Tracy Haynes Jr. The video went viral. It's at Listen T.O. Reunion Radio. Anton, can you walk us through that?
Hey, and I want you to keep it real like you did with me and I. It came in from the phone screen into my household.
The young man, Tracy Haynes, was in the car with us because we were taking him down and his family was following us, right? Prior to that, I had just talked to the detectives. They was trying to get us to take him to somewhere else, to meet them, to turn him in. The detective was kind of aggressive from my perspective. Right. And so we were like, hey, man, because we had an attorney on the phone, too. Shout out to Timothy Adams, who was able to help us facilitate that. But we determined that we were going to take him to Lou Sterry, right? To the jailhouse, because we were worried about his safety. He was worried about his safety. His family was worried about his safety.
And Tracy had been told, I don't know which one it was from, that he is a
terrorist,
labeled a terrorist, and able to be killed on sight.
And he was like, "Man, I need you guys to take me in because I don't want to get killed." That was his exact words. Right. And so we put him in a truck. Yeah. And so as we were getting ready to walk across the street, they came at us. They was coming at us. The feeling, the officers, they had this look on their face. Like they really had this look on their face, and they weren't friendly. Yes. And if when you looked at the video of me and Corey walking the guy across the street with his father and his aunt, the young man reached out his hand to try to shake their hand, because he was in essence saying, at least from my perspective, "Man, thank you for not killing me."
Yes.
And then the one sheriff, knowing you, reached out to you and said, "Hey, I got him. He's good."
Shout out to Prentice Richmond. Yes.
Yeah, again, that video is at Listen T.O. Reunion Radio. And again, prayers, love, and light to all the families and victims involved in the Wilma Hutchins shooting. We got more with the urban specialist, Anton and Corey, coming up right here on Reunion Radio. This is Reunion Radio right here on 97.9 The Beat. Big Bink, Slick Nick, Shawnee Scott. Urban specialist is here. This is a special edition. So much violence happening in the DF-Dub this past week. We got Anton, we got Corey here, and Shawnee, we're talking about the incident that happened at Wilma Hutchins, where a lot of families were impacted by this shooter, Tracy Haynes Jr.
Look, how terrifying could it be to send your baby to school and they come back with a bullet hole? Now, it's very, very serious that we make sure that we pray and send prayers to those families, because this causes trauma that doesn't just go away tomorrow. And when the cameras fade away and the national exposure is gone, we still got these holes in our hearts hearts and our souls that we got to lift up. So I think it's very important for us to make sure, although we are trying to save a young man who might have made a horrible mistake, we got to be able to be here to save and stand on business for those people that were affected. You can't even say wrong place. You were at the correct place.
Yes. Never should our kids be in an environment that they supposed to be in, that they supposed to be learning, that they have to worry about their life or fear for their lives. It should be all about education. Right. And never should any young individual in our neighborhood feel that the only way to handle this situation is to get a weapon, come to a school, and shoot indiscriminately into a crowd. Both of those are negatives that can't happen because nobody wins, no family wins. And so for us as an organization, that's our stance. No one wins when these type of situations happen, and how we can get the community involved to say, we can't turn a blind eye, we can't act like it don't exist. Let's have some intelligent conversations around how we prevent this. Not criticize, not judge, not slam, not do all that. Those are two for that somebody kids that's been affected, that's going to have to deal with this, as you said, once the cameras go away. And so we as a community have to work together, not this versus that, because it hurts our community as a whole.
Hey, look, this music, what we do is cool, but the community come first, always. We got more coming up with the urban specialist, and we'll talk about some solutions to this violence going on in the city. All right, this is Reunion Radio. All right, this is Reunion Radio right here on 97.9 The Beat. Big Big Slick Nick, Shawnee Scott, the urban specialist is here, special edition. Let's give it up for all the work they're doing in the community. Changing lives. I mean, it's cool to play music, Nick, Shawnee, that's what we do, but sometimes we have to kind of put that to the side and get this message out. So anybody we can help with this microphone, if we can help one person, we done did our job. And that boy Slick Nick is always talking about the next generation, you know, of even entertainers like the Zillionaire Does and the Montanas, and how what they do is directly related to the work y'all do at Urban Specialist. Corey?
You don't realize how much in what we do with stopping violence, that them bringing neighborhoods together created a better Dallas, period. And it makes this work easier to do that when you have, now the neighborhoods aren't beefing. You know, everything ain't right, but that, you know, gotta salute them for ushering that in. That's a huge start for Dallas, and we've never seen nothing as real like that. Yeah.
But I travel a lot, Bink, and man, right now the whole world is watching New Dallas. Hey, listen, y'all, I am an author too, so listen, I got a book called A Redemptive Path Forward from Incarceration to a Life of Activism, chronicling the journey from me being one of these kids that we mentoring to running a big nonprofit company, record label, security company, and everything else I do. So go anywhere books are sold, and make sure you leave me a review on Amazon, man. So A Redemptive Path Forward from Incarceration to a Life of Activism. Make sure y'all go pick up that book. I'm telling you, it's gonna change your life. Yeah.
If somebody needs help right now, somebody, auntie, grandmama, they're listening, they got a son that could be a problem, they might see some stuff that's gonna happen on the forefront, on the forefront, please give them that number.
Listen, if that's you right now, call the helpline at 469-401-8317. I'm gonna say it again, 469-401-8317, and I promise you our beautiful team, the team of urban specialists, will be there to assist you. Shout out to the team of urban specialists, because they are there waiting on you to call. So call that number, 469-401-8317.
This is Reunion Radio.